And now, without any further ado, Metroid Zero Mission 100% four-way race.
All right.
Ready?
Quick roll call.
Quick roll call. Roll call does not do these four champions of Zero Mission justice.
He's right.
Oh, no, no, no. Let me tell you about these four. Over here in the first seat, we have the Enigma from New Hampshire. He gave us a name, but do not be fooled, because his skills are so far beyond our comprehension, it's a matter of national security, we cannot actually tell you. So let us hear it for the man with the secret name, the beast from the east, John Unfill!
Woo! You're killing it.
In the second seat, whenever Nintendo wants to make a new 2D Metroid game, they reach for a red phone with a direct line to his house. Legends say his knowledge of the inner workings of Zero Mission are second to none, and he has the skills to match. So everybody, let's hear it for the sensation from Sweden, Dragonfangs! In the third seat, every night, runners all over the world say a little prayer hoping he does not pick up their game, because they know it's only a matter of time before he's knocking on that world record. Half man, half tool-assisted speedrun, all business. The Texan Titan of time saves, CScottyW! And last but most certainly not least, that name is not for show. He has the precision of a supercomputer. He has trained long and hard for years in the mountains of French Canada to hone his skills so that they are known around the world and even on other worlds. So, let us hear it for the hero from the north, samthedigital! Woo! My friends, these are your four champions who have come here today to race on this, the grandest of stages for the greatest of causes. Are we all ready for this?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Are you all ready for this? All right.
Why don't we get a 5-second countdown?
All
together,
everyone out there, let me hear you.
5,
4, 3, 2, 1, go! I'll let you guys handle it for a moment. I need a mo breather.
We'll take over from here. So we've been super excited for this race. We haven't seen Metroid Zero Mission 100% since SGDQ2018, I think, where Kirby Master here did a run. And well, if that run is your frame of reference for Zero Mission 100%, you're in for a treat here.
I literally made up my own route for swag. Please do not follow it.
There's been a lot of changes in recent years. We've had a lot of discoveries we're going to show off in this race. And there's just been a lot of fine-tuning of this race that, all these runners are top-tier runners. It'll be really good, and they'll be showing off different... one of the great things about this game is that there's a lot of routes for 100%, but they all end up being roughly the same speed. So we're going to see some slightly different route variations throughout the run. We'll be sure to keep, we'll be sure to tell you roughly who's ahead and who's behind. But it's a little difficult because the routes are not going to converge for a while, and there might be some variations later on. We'll try to keep you updated.
Yeah, so right here you're seeing them all the runners demonstrating the technique called a wall jump, which is kind of a standard fare in most Metroid games. And in Zero Mission you can single wall jump, which allows you to climb single walls or make really quick climbs in general, and opens up a lot of different kinds of strats. So right here, coming up is what we call the cave worm, or the hardest boss in the game.
Definitely the hardest boss.
Absolutely.
They're getting missiles now, and then there's a short mini-boss that takes 3 missiles. If you time your missiles just right, you can hit 2 missiles at the same time, which makes the boss a lot quicker, and we'll see if they actually get it.
All right.
Dragonfangs got one.
Dragonfangs
got one.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Sam got it. Oh, no, he didn't.
I don't know if Sam got it. There's too many screens.
Oh, yeah,
he did. He got it.
Yeah,
There you go. So,
all right, so we need a lot of missiles after this boss.
So this is a huge huge reset point because next upcoming is Hive Room. We need a lot of missiles for it.
Yeah. So some of them opted to stay behind and grab the drops just to be safe. What you usually do is kill some of the enemies on the way there and hope you get missiles drops there. That's obviously a little risky for a run like this, so they'll have to adapt depending on how many missiles they get throughout the thing.
There are 3 hives in the Hive Room, and you want to destroy all 3 of them so they don't spawn. Each hive takes 3 missiles and 2 normal shots, but the bugs really get in the way, so what you want to do is kind of lure the bugs away so you have a clear shot at each of the hives. And Dragonfangs got through. There we go. All right. I think Sam is...
And Sam is through.
Sam's through.
Nice.
Yeah, this guy's here.
And John.
John.
Oh no. See, that's really unfortunate because missiles are so important. They do a lot more damage than your beam at this point in the game. All right, I think he made it through. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's through.
Yeah. All right, so everyone's on their way to the next upgrade, bombs. And bombs are one of the most important upgrades in the game because they allow you to infinite bomb jump, which is very prevalent through this entire run.
So what we're gonna see here very soon is that here's the part where sort of the different 2 main routes for this category differ. So some of them are gonna clean up the upper part of Brinstar first. Some of them are gonna do it in like 25 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, halfway through the run, roughly.
Yep. So there'll be some differences here, and we'll be sure to like update you on what's happening.
So the 2 top screens, Scotty and Dragonfangs, are going to be doing what we call early Brinstar cleanup, which, as Eagle mentioned, is where you clean up the top of Brinstar. And this gives the advantage of giving an extra energy tank, a few extra missile tanks, and gives you more ammo. But the downside to it is that you have to do 2 pretty difficult bomb jumps for it to be worth it. And the other 2 runners, the 2 bottom screens, Sam and John, are going to be doing late Brinstar cleanup, where they're going to get those items on the way to Tourian instead.
And it's considerably easier to get them there because you have a lot of upgrades that make it a lot easier.
Yeah, and in terms of time save, they're like really similar. Like it pretty much comes down to personal preference.
Yep.
So here's Dragonfangs doing the bomb jumping.
Hopefully they will.
You have to get this first try to make the Ripper cycle.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
No!
Okay, Scotty's through. So Scotty's on his way to the Varia suit area.
Right. So what happened there was Dragonfangs was slightly misaligned, but I mean, he got up there, so it's fine.
And now the other 2 runners, John and Sam, are now just making their way back to start going to Kraid.
And getting to Kraid first, you can either decide to go to Ridley first or Kraid first in this game. These are the 2 main bosses you need to kill early in the game. For 100%, it's pretty much you have to do Kraid first because there's a very important upgrade, Speed Booster. And you need Speed Booster to clean up the most remote area in the game on the first pass. So it's extremely important to have Speed Booster early on.
So right here, Scotty is doing a bomb jump to the Varia suit area. Again, you have to be pretty on point with all your bomb jumps to make this all quickly.
Yep.
And Dragonfangs is about to do it. Now Scotty's doing the most exciting part of the run, waiting for bugs. How's life?
I'd be doing better if the bugs are being team players, honestly.
So for John and Sam, they're going to have to keep an eye out on their missiles because there are some missile bottlenecks throughout Kraid they really need to be aware of. So it looks like Sam opts to heal here, which loses a very minor amount of time, but I mean, you're guaranteed to not lack missiles for Kraid, which is pretty important. I'm not sure what John is going to do, but...
he's skipping it.
He's skipping, yeah, good job. But he'll have to be really careful about using missiles and he's going to have to hope for some slightly good drops on some of the bosses because there's a lot of enemies that you need to kill and there's just no fast way to kill them without missiles.
All right, so upcoming on Scotty's screen is a really difficult bomb jump. There are 2 Rippers that are in the way and he had to account for every possible pattern for the bomb jump. He got it. This is much more difficult than it looks because you have to have a bomb pattern memorized for every possible pattern of the Rippers and then react accordingly because enemies are random, so they generally have a 50-50 pattern, but you usually have to account for them in certain rooms and react appropriately. So now the other 2, Sam and John, are now in Kraid. They're on their way to beat Acid-Worm. Beating Acid-Worm is very important. You need 30 missiles to defeat Acid-Worm, and by defeating Acid-Worm, you also unlock the zip lines, which is very important for navigating Kraid. Dragonfangs got the bomb jump nicely.
This is also a very difficult point when you're first learning the game because going into Kraid requires you to do multiple diagonal bomb jumps with various threats, like for example those bugs coming out of the lava there, and storing them up loses you a few seconds every attempt.
And the reason why it's difficult is because with the game's natural route, you're sort of intended to get power grip first and then go to Kraid. So there's a lot of spots where you kind of need to use power grip to squeeze into more ball tunnels. But since none of the runners have power grip, they need to do bomb jumps instead. So here Sam and John are approaching the Acid Worm fight now. What they're going to do is when Acid Worm spawns, they're going to try to unload probably 4 or 5 missiles before it goes back down. And then they're going to dump into the acid intentionally, line themselves up vertically so that every one of their missiles hits the weak spot.
Yep. And as you can see on John's screen, he just barely has enough missiles for this fight and had to farm a little bit. That is unfortunate, but it's something you have to deal with in this route.
And
Sam
gets the 2 cycles.
Two
Yeah.
cycles
Very nice.
standard. Two cycles standard. John is...
Looks good on John's screen too.
He thinks it's good.
Yeah.
There you go. 2 cycle.
All right, so it's important to have 10 missiles after killing this acid worm, but John only has 6, so he probably has to farm a little bit on the way. It's not a huge deal because he has a pretty reasonable chance of getting drops on the way.
You got a missile tank, so I think he's fine.
No. He needs...
oh, no, he doesn't need more. Yeah, you're right.
He gets 1 more missile tank here, and then he'll have 16, and he needs 20 for some big enemies coming out.
So now Scotty and Dragonfangs are now approaching Kraid, and they're going to be taking the same Kraid route, going straight to Acid Worm immediately. So hopefully we'll see them both get to 2 cycle and Acid Worm as well.
Right. From this point forward, they'll be doing the same thing on all of the runners will be doing the same things, but the ones who did early Brinstar will be like roughly 2 minutes behind. So if you want to see who's in the lead, you can sort of just add 2 minutes to their time to tell who's in the lead for the most part.
All right.
So upcoming is the room where you need to use the zipline to cross it. You can skip the zipline, and that's just what you do in any %, but in 100% you have to collect everything in Acid Worm anyways. So Sam is going to be, he's going to try to have to get the missile tank coming up soon. That requires going through 2 giant side hoppers, and that's what you need 20 missiles for. Each giant side hopper takes 10 missiles to kill. And you really don't want to rely on your pea shooter because it does way less damage. I think it's 5 shots per missile, maybe 10. I think it's 10.
Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah, it sucks.
No, in this game, Nintendo said, you know what? Let's make missiles really good.
Unlike Metroid Fusion, where the beam is actually really good. Though there are times where the beam is pretty useful in Zero Mission.
Oh, no, it has its uses, absolutely.
Yeah, and you just need to kill these enemies in order for the door to open.
And as you can see on Scotty and Dragonfang screen, they're generally fine on missiles because they have the extra ammo from doing early Brinstar.
Oh, Scotty getting no missile drops, it looked like.
That's a little iffy.
Yep. That's very unfortunate, but something that happens. It's actually pretty strange, because usually with this route, you're safe from missiles, but I mean, he must have gotten really, really bad drops.
And you have to keep in mind, after you defeat the 2 giant side hoppers, Kraid is coming up, and you need, like, Kraid takes, I think, 15 normal missiles to kill, and you need a few extra just for safety and or opening his eye. So
they refill before Kraid, fortunately.
Oh, they do? I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, at the unknown item.
There's a cool little trick. I think Sam already did it, and John is doing it right now. This used to be a really
Sam
boring
hasn't
room.
done it yet, I don't think.
He's been in that room.
Okay.
Before, we used to just take all the ball cannons, but we've sort of optimized that room a little bit to make it a little less boring. We used to call it the most boring room in the game.
We don't still call it that?
It's a little cool now. I like it.
Okay, if you say so.
All right, so Sam's taking a refill here to get ready for the Kraid fight.
This is pretty much a mandatory refill, because you need a lot of missiles from this point on forward. That's unfortunate.
So upcoming is a hall with a bunch of side hoppers. You have just enough time to defeat each side hopper without stopping the run by firing 2 diagonal missiles at the right time. So, and ideally, you get them 5 in a row. And Sam got 3 out of 5 there. It's pretty difficult because the timing's really tight.
Yeah, it is very tight timing.
All right, and then the Kraid fight is coming up. So how the Kraid fight works is Kraid is normally a really cheesy fight in most speedruns, in 90% because you have supers, but they don't have supers yet. So they're going to have to kind of fight him manually. So he starts with his mouth open. You can unload some missiles into his mouth. You can't actually finish him off here with normal missiles. It's impossible. So what you need a missile to open up his eye and then try to unload as many missiles as you can to 2-round him. And he got it. Nice.
He got a 2-round, yeah.
Nice. All right, so John is approaching a Kraid fight now. So let's see if he can get a 2-round here too. That's looking good. Ooh.
Kraid, put that hand down. No one wants to see that.
It's definitely difficult because Kraid's hand has a hitbox that blocks your missile, so you have to be aware of that.
Yep.
And that was still good, though. Good recovery.
Yeah.
So now Sam just got the speed booster upgrade. So Eagle wants to get into what that does.
Yes, speed booster is an incredibly complicated item, but like if you start running, after running for a little while, you get a speed boost, and that speed boost lasts until he either runs into a wall or stops, or after landing after a jump. And if you press down during the speed animation, then you get then you store a shine spark, and shine sparks are pretty important for getting a lot of the items in this game, which you'll see a lot of in, for instance, the Ridley area. So you start a shine spark by pressing the A button in a neutral state after sort of storing that thing, and it's a little difficult because sometimes you'll accidentally activate it, and there's a lot of sections in the game where you need to hold that for a while. And it gets even more complicated after you get the space jump upgrade, because then you can kind of jump through the air while maintaining the speed boost. And you don't want to hit walls there, so there's a lot of intricacies with this item. And I had one more thing to say about speed booster.
It's a complicated item, and it's really important because a lot of items in 100% require speed booster, and we never explain 100%, but it's sort of self-explanatory. This game has an in-game percentage counter, which tracks 100 upgrades. All right, so Scotty's fighting Kraid.
Looks good.
Oh, there we go, 2 round.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about shine sparks. The reason shine sparks look really fast and flashy, but in a lot of cases they're actually slower than just jumping or whatever, because every shine spark has a startup animation and a bonk animation when you hit a wall. So yeah, you generally want to avoid that because it takes a while. Also, unique to the GBA Metroid is that if you shine spark into a slope, then you keep running as opposed to bonking the slope. And so you can kind of chain shine sparks together, and that's also extremely important for a lot of the tricks in this game. Pretty strong Kraid fights overall.
These Kraid fights were all really solid.
Yeah, they're absolutely great.
It actually is one of the hardest parts of the run, actually, deceptively, because you have to be able to time your missile heights perfectly in order for them to land in his mouth, and also space yourself accordingly to avoid his arm.
Wait, yeah, we call Kraid the hardest boss 100%, and that's not actually a joke this time.
Nah. I have a lot of difficulties with it personally.
Sam just got Charge Beam, and every runner's going to get Charge Beam on the way through to Norfair. They're all going to Norfair now. Charge Beam, it kind of sucks in this game, but it has its uses here and there. The main use it has is that when you charge your beam and you do a spin jump, you can do what's called a pseudo screw attack. So you can jump through enemies or deal damage.
Another thing you could do is charge your beam when going through a door, and you could shoot a shot frame perfectly as you exit the door, which is important in like 1 or 2 places. Because
otherwise, manually timing that shot can make it really iffy.
Yes.
And unreliable.
Yeah, but like we mentioned before, though, the runners are going to be relying primarily on missiles to do damage against bosses and a lot of enemies, just because they're a lot stronger and they're just, the game gives you a lot of them, especially in 100%.
So for this part, they're going up to get Power Grip in Kraid area, and then they're heading through Norfair, picking up a few items, and then heading to Ridley area. I guess if there's donations, now might be a good time.
This is a good time for some donations.
There absolutely are donations. How about we start with one for $90 from Naboxo. Hello, Dragonfangs. Naboxo here. Your coworkers and I at Sigma ITC sends their regards. Kick butt in the race. A separate greeting from you to you from me, Naboxo, Sam. Stay awesome, dude. P.S. Yes, Dragonfangs, I'm pretty jacked on energy drinks to stay awake for your run over here in Sweden. Donation goes to Fargoldang's choice.
It's like 2 a.m. in Sweden, I think. Yeah.
All right, we can squeeze in another one, I think.
All right, so how about $80 from, you might know this guy, JRP2234?
Yeah. Just Magooit.
Hello from Australia. It's nice to see this game and category make a return to GDQ. But John, this is not GT Classic. I think you put in the wrong game. The Zero Mission community is watching you in the Discord, and I hope you have a fun race. Good luck, John, Scotty, Dragonfangs, and Eagle. Also, kill the animals.
All right, so right here, Sam just got the first super missile tank in the game. You're sort of, by the natural route, that's not the first super missile tank you're supposed to get, but the game kind of has it's open in that sense that you can get it if you know how to wall jump and shine spark and stuff.
It's incredibly important to get this specific super missiles because as we go through Norfair, we go down through Norfair to Ridley area. There's a green door, like 1 or 2 green doors that we need to hit, and they can only open with super missiles, so they're important.
All right, and Sam is doing a bomb jump to try to skip the pillar animation, but if you mess it up, it's not worth trying to go for another IBJ, infinite bomb jump, so you just want to wall jump and wait for the last platform to spawn.
Yep.
So looks like John is getting the Power Grip now. Power Grip is a very useful item. The reason why they're getting Power Grip is because in Norfair, there's a plant that deliberately blocks your way, but it arbitrarily disappears once you get Power Grip.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
It's kind of, it's just kind of like an arbitrary luck. It's kind of silly.
Yeah, considering how open-ended this game is, just to throw a hard block like that is just kind of odd.
Yeah. So fun fact, you can kill Rippers with supers. And that's kind of a nice strat to do there, just so you don't stop to jump over it. Because when you're running across ground, you want to stop as low as possible, and jumping is slower than running. So you want to just be running as much as possible.
So I want you guys to look at Scotty's screen in a moment. Generally, to get the super missile we were talking about before, you spark to the left, hit a slope there, and then spark to the right. What you can do is you can do a bomb jump, where you sort of jump, place a bomb midair, and then bounce off of it to get some extra height. And then you can immediately shine spark to the right. It's extremely difficult because the shine spark timer is pretty short. But he's pretty good at it, so let's see. Let's go! Yeah!
That's really difficult to do because when you try to jump into the bomb, you can't just do a straight jump because that makes you shine spark. You have to do kind of a spin jump in place, make sure you morph in time while the bomb is still there, not blown up, and you maintain the shine spark timer.
Yeah, it's pretty common when you do that trick to accidentally start the shine spark instead of jumping straight up. And then you'll be in an awkward spot. You can sort of save it by sparking left immediately, but it's hard to react to.
All right, so after Power Grip, Sam who currently looks the farthest ahead in this route right now. He's getting an Ice Beam. He's cleaning up kind of the upper right corner of Norfair. You don't need to get Ice Beam immediately, but it is faster to get Ice Beam earlier for reasons that we'll get into in Ridley. We'll get into that when it becomes relevant.
We used to grab Ice Beam after Ridley, but there's been some developments. We'll see later.
Yes.
So Ice Beam is pretty mandatory at this point to get early.
And power gripping is just very useful in general because, like, for example, when you try to wall jump, there's like a little animation where you're kind of stuck for a few frames. So power gripping actually skips that. So you kind of, because you can just jump from a ledge and from a power grip. And TAS makes heavy use of this, but sometimes you'll see runners try to take advantage of that too. All right.
So in Norfair, there are a lot of heated rooms where you take damage, and we don't have warrior suits, so it adds up. So you need to be careful, and generally most runners refill in 1 or 2 places throughout Norfair to make sure they don't die in the heated rooms. So one of the other advantages of early Brinstar, I'm not sure the runners will be doing it here because it's kind of risky. One of the advantages of doing early Brinstar cleanup is that you have enough health to go through all of Norfair without healing. It's incredibly risky, but oh, that's a shame, Scotty. But it's incredibly risky, but it does save a lot of time because healing is pretty slow.
All right. And the hall that Sam is in right now is one of the rooms where you need super missiles for, because you want to clean up this area of Norfair right now on your first trip, and you need supers to go through this hall.
We'll come back to Norfair in cleanup as well, but it's because we need power bombs to get, we need gravity rather, to get specific upgrades there. They'll be doing like a round of most of the areas in the game later, so we'll see it again.
Yeah, Kraid is like 90% cleaned up. At this point, there's like 2 or 3 upgrades they haven't gotten yet, because one of them requires gravity suit as well,
right?
Which is kind of a late game, end game item.
Right.
So Sam just got high jump, and high jump is a really useful item because it increases your, a lot of people kind of joke about it being not that useful, but it increases your jump height. It lets you spring ball, which means it lets you shine spark in morph ball, and it increases your vertical velocity when you jump. So high jump just saves so much time in rooms with vertical climbing, and it also affects your space jumps and wall jumps. So it's a very useful item, and of course it's 100%, so you have to get it.
So it looks like Sam opted to heal at high jump, which is a good choice. You're pretty safe in this heated room. There will be more later, but hitting that side hopper does a lot of damage. I think he'll still be fine, but see what he opts to do.
He might opt to refill its screw attack.
I think that's what John is planning to do because his health looks very low.
It's pretty low. I don't think he
One
has
of the
very low
advantages of healing at screw attack is that you can do something where you grab the item and refill at the same time. We call it refill glitch.
There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Very nice.
So you get the item and you start refilling immediately. So you sort of overlap 2 actions and save some time. We have setups for that, so it's a little difficult, but it's something you can do fairly consistently. There you go, John. Nice.
And now now Sam and John are making way through Lower Norfair, getting a few items on the way, and then also going to be fighting a mini boss called Imago Cocoon, which, no joke, is one of the hardest bosses in the game
It's pretty difficult.
to fight quickly.
It's cycle-based kind of, so you have to be fast or you run into issues basically. All right, so Sam is coming up on the last heated room in Norfair.
And you can kind of see, like, in the case of the top two screens, Scotty and Dragonfangs, they have so much health that they're generally fine because they have an extra energy tank from early Brinstar cleanup. So they can afford to skip the heal relatively reliably.
I'm wondering if they're going to go for that.
We'll see.
Really curious.
Because as you can see, there's another heated hall you have to go through that Sam and John are going through right now, and you have to spend quite a bit of time through it.
So not only do you need a lot of health for this area, you also need a lot of missiles and super missiles, because one of the bosses coming up, you need to kill that with super missiles in order to get a reasonably fast time on it. So Scotty here will probably be... Oh, he's doing the refill. I can't blame him. But if you were to skip that refill, you would be looking for super missiles.
All right, so Sam just got Wave Beam. Wave Beam is very nice because it lets you shoot through walls, but not enemies. Every beam upgrade you get, not named Charge Beam, actually increases your base damage every beam by 1. It's not super useful because missiles are just so much better, but it can be handy here and there. All right, so Dragonfangs got through that room.
Yeah, he looks pretty safe at this point.
Yeah. And there's another heated room that you have to speed boost through. That's the last of the heated rooms they need to go through in Norfair.
So Sam kind of shoots through the floor there to hit an enemy. It's faster than shooting him with Wave Beam, and then you have to bomb this one. Looks really good. That was a fast kill.
All right, so Sam is going to be charging his beam through the door transition because this allows him to buffer a first frame shot of a block coming up, which allows him to maintain a speed boost through it, which is what Eco mentioned when you started a run. And I believe all the runners are going to be doing that strat, because why wouldn't you?
You have to be pretty precise otherwise, and if you hit that wall, you lose the speed boost. And one thing I forgot to mention about speed boost is the obvious: you need it to break speed blocks.
Yes.
And there are quite a few of those in the game.
All right, so this is Imago Cocoon. There are 3 finds on each side. They each take 3 normal missiles each. You can also use supers, but they need to conserve their supers for another fight coming up. They need to make sure that the Ripper is on the right position to freeze it in place. Ooh, that was a little awkward. Oh no, Sam got it. That was a good fight.
Sam got the good fight, yeah.
Yep, now we wait on John. He's freezing the Ripper in place for the proper cycle after he destroys the left finds. Ooh, good.
There's a lot of happening at this point in the game.
Yeah, so John got a good Cocoon fight too.
Nice. So they'll be going into Ridley, and then they'll leave immediately. Because leaving immediately makes it so that you can enter in a different spot, and it's generally faster to go that way around. You're kind of circling around the Ridley area to get all the items, and it's just faster to enter from that direction. So Sam is leaving again and going to fight a different boss.
And all the runners are going to be using the same route for Ridley. Yep, fighting Imago, which is the infant that got born out of the cocoon that we just defeated or whatever. So Imago takes, I believe, 10 supers to kill, but they only have, it might be 8, I don't remember. But they don't only have 4 supers, so they had to have really good matching with their normal missiles in order to defeat Imago in one go. And he took damage, so it's gonna take another cycle.
You want to follow behind Imago, but not run into him. That's pretty important. Then you can kill him pretty fast.
And you do run faster than him, so you can't just hold right and just.
No, you have to run at a very specific spot, and the backup is kind of awkward, as you can see on Sam's screen.
Looks like John got a clean kill.
Nice. So he overtook Sam there with a really clean Imago kill.
Sam's having a lot of troubles. He's going to reset the Imago pattern.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't blame him.
And with Fangs finishing that room, all of them are through the heated rooms as well.
John gets the Imago spark. That's really difficult.
Oh, nice.
Because you kind of have to chain a shine spark through after the boss fight.
And you also have to destroy a missile.
Uh-oh.
Dragonfangs' GameCube kind of went off.
Oh, did it shut off completely?
Oh, dear.
Ooh. Well, that's a bummer. I don't think there's much we can do about that. Well.
On John's screen, he's doing... That's the reason we're getting Ice Beam.
Yes.
So, do you want to explain this? You wanted to explain this
I
so
would
badly.
be delighted to explain this.
Yeah.
So, in that room, something happens. You can actually freeze 2 enemies on top of each other, and if you stand on top of them and drop a bomb, you kill them at the same time. So the game says you killed the enemy you're standing on. Don't worry, I got this. I'll put you on the other enemy. Oh, And so then it just puts it where the enemy puts you where the enemy respawns, which lines you up with what turns out to be under the floor.
Yep.
It's actually a lot more complicated than that, though. There's actually a whole bunch of things that have to come into play that just happen to align like the planets in the night sky to only work in that room under those very specific circumstances. But it's enough of a difference that we get Ice Beam early because of it.
Mm-hmm. So if you didn't have Ice Beam there, you'd go into the room that John is in, charge a speed boost there, and run all the way back, which is pretty slow. But we skip all of that thanks to Ice Beam and the clip.
They also pass through a map room, and you want to avoid getting maps because who needs maps in the speedrun?
Yeah. Some people get the maps, and they're very ashamed of themselves after getting the map.
So John is going to be doing an important series of Shine Sparks. These rooms are rooms that really require proper Shine Sparks and having speed boost with some of these puzzles.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
So he's doing a diagonal spark instead of just Shine Sparking straight ahead because, well, then you don't have to run back to get that speed boost for this Shine Spark he just did.
And Sam is probably going to do the same thing here, the diagonal.
Yep.
There we go.
So there's some tricky rooms that you really don't want to fall down in because that means you have to reset the room, which is super slow.
Looks like Scotty's kind of just behind him by like a minute or something. Not sure by how much, but...
Well, he also did early Brinstar.
So John is in the infamous room here, where you do a speed jump. It has a really small frame window, and he got it. Nice.
Yeah. Isn't that like a 3-frame window, I think?
I think it's
something like
3
that.
or 4 frames, yeah. It's very tight.
It's like the intended way to do it. Yeah. It's pretty intense.
It is pretty intense, yeah.
And Sam...
Oh, jumped a little bit too early there, it looks like.
Yeah, that is an extremely difficult jump.
And there's no other way around it. You have to do it.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go,
Very
yeah.
nice.
So they're just cleaning up the last of the items here, and then they will head and they'll go and kill Ridley. And at that point, we have 2 people, Sam and John, who still need to collect a few missiles before they can go. They need to go collect a few upgrades before they can go to Tourian. But Scotty is all set to go once he kills Ridley. He can just head straight to Tourian, basically.
I will take an opportunity to mention one thing, though. You may have seen them kill those owls flying around, or in some cases stop to grab power-ups, because super missiles are extremely important to taking care of Ridley quickly. And since after killing Imago, you have none left, stopping to grab power-ups is definitely something they need to do. Otherwise, Ridley will take a fair bit longer than you will see it take.
Yep. It just so happens that there's a lot of enemies that have a pretty high drop rate for super missiles on your way, and it doesn't really take that much time to kill them, so it works out that way.
And so the room that Sam is in is the pillar, and it's a kind of a scary room, actually, because if you fall down, you need to get back up there anyways. It's pretty punishing. And it's really important to go through here because there are 4 upgrades in this room that Sam is in right now. All right, so it looks like Dragonfangs might be joining us on commentary now.
Ridley is coming up.
Ridley is coming up. Make sure to up your volume. So by upping your volume, I mean, please don't do that, because that's a terrible idea.
Oh, he's not in his room. What's going on here?
Also, don't blink.
It just don't blink.
I mean, he wasn't even in the room. He must be off practicing for Smash Ultimate or whatever. I don't know.
He's apparently not too big, so.
So I guess I'm on.
Hey, Dragonfangs, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Could have been better.
All right, and here he is on John's screen.
Here's Ridley.
Absolute unit. And
looks like the matchup is in Samus's favor, I think. Yep, there we go.
There we go. That's it. Big boy, beautiful boy, exploding boy.
So after the fight, they're going to be picking up Ridley's drops because super missiles are still important for Tourian. You need a lot of super missiles there. And John only got 2, which is pretty unfortunate. But there are places to farm on the way that don't take too much time.
And Sam is fighting Ridley. Again, very important fight. Very difficult fight, I mean. And there you go.
There you go.
Okay, so John is opting to make a short detour to grab some extra super drops.
John got a lot of extra super drops.
Yeah, that's very good, actually.
Yeah.
Good, because like depending on the drops, Sam got 8 supers.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Still unfair.
Because like what kind of strat you do in that speed room depends on like how many super drops you get from Ridley. Because the lower you have, the more it might be worth it to make a detour to grab those drops. But Sam is obviously fine.
There are a lot of, you have to sort of adapt on the fly depending on your ammo count. We'll even see that a bit later when we get power bombs, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that later.
Oh yeah. And here it comes.
Oh, here it comes. Here you go.
Nice.
It's beautiful.
He's so happy to be here.
I know.
So 3-0, Samus to Ridley. I think the matchup is 100-0 Samus' favor.
For sure.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're heading to Tourian.
Ooh, no drops for Scotty.
No, that's
Ooh,
unfortunate.
that's really unfortunate.
So the area we saw some of our runners go to at the start of the run, the upper part of Windstar, that's where John and Sam will be going now to pick up those items. And that's a fairly quick cleanup because you have a lot of upgrades at this point that really help, like high jump and wave beam and so on and so forth. But Scotty will be heading straight to Tourian. And once they're in Tourian, there are no immediate route variations. So we'll be able to see who's in the lead and who's a little behind.
Yeah.
You might have seen John just shine spark past a missile as well, and that's very intentional. We'll be leaving that for cleanup later.
Yep. Because as you said, they need to go back to Norfair at some point with somebody late game items.
Yeah, the rule of thumb is if you see an item and you're asking yourself, why didn't they grab it? Because it's faster to get it later with the other power-ups.
Yeah, there are some pretty powerful late game upgrades. You might have seen us pick up some unknown items throughout the run. Those will be activated later, and they're pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah.
One of them being Gravity Suit, but none of the runners actually got Varia Suit, even though this is a 100% speedrun. We never mentioned that, and it's going to be relevant in Scotty's case because he's going to be visiting that room. The reason being that when you unlock Gravity Suit through the unknown item near the end of the game just gives you Varia Suit anyways.
Yep, so,
and it counts.
So just think of it as there are two ways to get Varia in this game.
One is to not get it, two is to get it.
Yep. It's pretty hard to avoid.
Which annoyingly makes Varia one of the required items for low percent.
Yeah. All right, so as you mentioned before, Sam is doing a ball spark here, and ball sparking is basically shine sparking in Morphle mode. And again, you need high jump, which allows you to spring ball in order to ball spark.
This is the only Metroid game where you can ball spark, I think, right?
Yes.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Though you can do something similar in Samus Returns,
Okay.
actually. But
Okay.
in terms of actual shine sparking, this is the only one.
Right.
No, at this point, this game had the most shine spark you could do, ball form, standing diagonally, in every which way. It was give you a lot of movement tools in Zero Mission that you didn't have in Fusion.
All right. So on John's screen, he doesn't need to do any bomb jumps. He can just kind of jump up there with high jump.
High jump power grip.
Yeah.
It's great. Bugs. So I think this would probably be a good time for a quick donation or two, because
Sure.
everyone's just kind of
Absolutely.
doing a little cleanup before Tourian.
Sure, I have a few of those. I have another $5 from JRP who says, I forgot to say good luck, Sam. I have $250 from Hercules Bench Press.
Ooh, Herc!
He's another community member in the Fusion Zero Mission community. I'll try to make this quick. Sam, Scotty, John, and Dfangs, I love you all and wish I were here to give you wish I were there to give you all hugs and hang out with you and everyone on the couch this week. Good luck to all of you. Now, I won't be watching the run until later since I'm currently out, but I'm going to let this donation go to the winner's choice, as long as it is not for killing the animals. Have fun, guys.
All right, Long Beam exists. It's
So as
faster
we-
to get it on the way to Tourian.
So as we can see now, Scotty is clearly in the lead
Yeah, he's like
after-
already on his way to Tourian.
after the routes convert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Scotty clearly in the lead. John and Sam are roughly at the same spot. And there's a lot of things that can happen still, so it should be a good race.
Still anyone's game.
Oh, absolutely. And
Also, if we're getting into the runners themselves, Scotty notoriously had a pretty bad latter half of the game at some point. He's for sure brushed up on it since then, but we might see the other runners who are a bit more experienced with the latter half catch up a little bit there.
So in Tourian, every room we enter, you have to defeat all the Metroids. Their spawning time and location is actually varies, so making it a very random part of the run.
Now, the reason they were worrying so much about super missiles leaving Ridley is because of Tourian, because one super missile takes out a frozen Metroid as opposed to 5 missiles. And the magic number for Tourian is 4, because 4 super missiles are what they need to quickly kill Mother Brain. So they'll use them to kill Metroids, but they have to, if they don't get super drops, they have to make sure to not let the super count drop below 4, so they're going to hope for super drops.
It's also important to make sure you have maximum health, because you get health drops if you're not on maximum health, which decreases your chances of getting missiles or supers.
It actually doesn't decrease the chance of supers.
Oh, does it not?
No,
All right.
it
Just
decrease-
missiles.
Just missiles, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, just missiles. Okay, so that's more relevant for any percent, but not here.
Yes, at any percent it's very
That's fair.
relevant.
That's fair.
Yeah, all the runners have so many missiles at this point. There's no real chance they're going to run out of regular missiles. But supers is always a concern.
Yeah. This is also the first game where a super missile tank gives you 2 supers instead of just 5. So conservation is important.
Okay.
So how fast the Metroid spawns is pretty random. Sometimes they'll spawn really fast, and sometimes they'll be pretty slow. But what you can do usually is spawn several at once, because it's pretty hard to deal with multiple at once. But then as the other one is spawning, you can sort of kill the other one. So there's some overlap there. This is the last Metroid room for Scotty.
He's making short work of them, but he seems to be getting a lot of normal missile drops, not super drops.
He's not doing too hot on drops. Sam and John are both at.
Oh!
Oh, no.
That was interesting. So I think if the Metroids are overlapping a little bit, it can't latch onto you, so it just kind of phases through you, but does damage still.
Yeah.
It's a pretty weird phenomenon that you don't see too often.
All right, so this is the final one. The final room is with Mother Brain. There are 4 Zapatites you have to break through. They each take 7 missiles to kill, and then Mother Brain has a glass tube which takes 20 missiles or 4 supers. And you can use some of your leftover supers to finish off the glass tube.
Yep. So they shoot 4 missiles and 1 super missile, because for every you do a specific amount of damage, and then she closes her eye, and you want to avoid having her close her eye too much. And that was a really strong fight from Scotty.
That was a good fight. And Scotty actually did kind of an interesting exploit where during Mother Brain's death animation, you can run up against Mother Brain, and that counts towards increasing your speed booster counter to activate it. So you can do a Shine Spark up in the escape hall.
All right, John now entering Mother Brain's room as well.
See how he does.
So we've actually had a discovery in that Sepatite room recently, which is unfortunately not relevant for 100%.
It isn't.
We have a genuine Sepatite skip like they do in Super Metroid. Unfortunately, it's pretty slow to set up, so it's only worth doing if you are lacking ammo, which is pretty much relevant for low percent and 80%.
So what was Scotty's escape time?
134.
Wow, 134 is like the golden standard. So that was pretty much a human perfect escape.
Yes.
So John and Sam, like, super close.
They're pretty close.
Yeah.
John now also doing his own escape here. Doing that escape spark.
I think a lot of runners have like different kinds of routes for this escape. So it's kind of interesting to see.
Absolutely. Like it was mentioned before, but it bears repeating. One of the best things about Zero Mission is the fact there are multiple ways you can move through different rooms, and all of them are equally viable, or minor differences time-wise. So.
Like sometimes you'll see a discussion in the Discord. Well, I came up with this thread. It's like 4 frames faster, but what if you mess up this? But it's really close.
Yeah.
A lot of times it comes down to personal preference, or sometimes it's slower. It depends.
Yeah.
On like a room-by-room basis, there's been a lot of minor optimizations recently, and it's been pretty intense. I've been running this game for a long time, but I've had a lot of trouble keeping up with everything. So, yeah.
All right, so after you defeat Tourian, there's kind of a post-game thing going on. That's technically the main game, where you have to you lose your suit, and you have to go through a suitless section in a new area called Chozodia. You have to kind of sneak through. It's kind of a stealth section, and getting detected means the pirates notice you. And the pirates are very dangerous. They do 100 damage to you. So it can be very scary if you're not careful.
The pirates do exactly 100 damage, and as you can see right now on Scotty's screen, he only has 99. What will most likely happen is that he will refill his health here at the beginning, which is a good choice for a marathon run like this.
Oh, yeah.
But it does take a lot of time because you have a lot of energy tanks in 100%, and the heal is therefore pretty slow. All right, so Scotty's heart is beating fast right now.
Okay, map skip.
Map skip.
The map is super slow, and you don't want it.
It's like called the map of shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so shameful to get.
You have many seconds to sit there and think about your poor life choices that brought you to this point.
And it's one of those things that's... let's see.
Oh, perfect stealth.
Perfect stealth.
That first pirate is like frame perfect, I believe.
The way Scotty did it, it's frame perfect. And it is also random depending on how the pirate is turning around. You need to have... It's like 1 in 20, I think.
So enjoy the music while you can.
Oh, yeah.
Because this track only plays until you get discovered. And once you get discovered, it never plays in the game again. So usually we only hear it for like a little while, but now we get to hear it for a while.
Yeah.
There are cases in the speedrun where you do want to get intentionally discovered, though.
Yeah, unfortunately. So he will have to get discovered at some point.
Unless he wants to, like...
Wait forever? No.
Yeah.
All right, John taking his refill and starting his own suitless.
I think he missed the map of shame, which is good.
You did.
All right, and now it's Sam's turn.
there are a lot of shortcuts in this particular section of the game that are kind of obscure. Like Scotty just kind of jumped through the ceiling there.
Good. Okay.
It saves a good amount of time.
All right.
So what John just did actually in the previous room was that...
Oh, Sam is not refilling.
Sam's not taking the refill.
He's not taking refill.
He's not taking refill.
Oh.
A bold move. A spicy move.
Spicy. All right, so what John and Sam just did is that they actually froze the pirates such that they have not been seen ever since the alarm went off, and an alarm timer constantly goes down as long as it does not reset as long as you don't get seen again.
Scotty just ducked under a searchlight there. That's pretty hard to do. If you get discovered, you lose a lot of time. So it was a bold move.
Suitless is generally a pretty just go through it and whatever happens, happens. So having some of this more interesting movement or more risky tricks is definitely a breath of fresh air.
The music.
All right, you have to deal with this track for now.
Yeah. Inferior track that everyone hears all the time.
I hear it in my sleep sometimes.
All right, say hi to the pirate coming up.
In Scotty's screen. Hi.
Hi.
So for whatever reason, you can shoot that pirate and he just doesn't care.
You hear the sound effect.
I mean, he screams.
He screams. He's
Obviously,
like, ow.
he's obviously
Don't do that.
frustrated, but he doesn't sound the alarm.
He wishes he were Ridley.
Sound the alarm.
Yeah.
He doesn't get paid enough.
Scotty going through my least favorite room.
So there's a lot of wall jumps in this section, and you have to avoid some searchlights. Sometimes they'll hit them intentionally because there's...
There we go. Sam got a really tight strat there to duck underneath the searchlights.
I'm worried about Sam.
I am a little worried too.
Keep in mind that pretty much everything in Suitless will do 100 damage. So being touched at all means death for Sam. And in a Metroid game, when you die, that's the run. You're done. You have to restart from the very beginning.
Oh, and Scotty also getting Sam strat. Saving himself, what is it, a half a second?
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
The idea is to make the alarm turn off just as you're leaving the room, and then you don't have to wait for a... you don't have to duck into a save room to turn off the alarm later on.
We're going to see the tease soon.
So even when they're done with Suitless, then it's not the end of it. So someone like Sam has to fight a boss with like no health. So he has to be careful. And one of the things you can do against that boss is intentionally take damage. And you can only take 2 hits. So it's a dicey move. And there's a lot of pirates in this spot. You don't want to hit them.
Yeah, this is also very movement intensive. You can see there's doing a lot of single wall jumps. In a lot of cases, dropping even one of those wall jumps, there are pirates waiting for you to say hello. So
It looks like John got the Sam strat as well.
Nice.
Let's see if Sam gets the Sam strat.
I sure hope so.
His namesake,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
And
It's good.
It's good.
3 for 3
3
Sam
for 3.
strat, very nice.
Let's see what kind of pattern Scotty draws on these crumble blocks. He had a little bit of fun there.
Very dada.
Alright, so Scotty is almost done with the Suitless section. He just has to fight Charlie, which is kind of the name that we gave.
His name is Charlie. Don't.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine. His name is Charlie.
His name is Charlie.
Okay, and then the idea behind Charlie is that it's kind of, story-wise, it's kind of a test to make sure, like, Samus, are you ready to get your suit back or whatever? At least that's implied.
Are you ready for these shoulder pads of might?
Because you get those massive shoulder pads from Metroid 2. Although this game makes it so it's actually, technically, the shoulder pads came from this game.
Yeah.
So the boss is a mirror, and once that mirror like shines, you have to hit it. If you, it's a very small window, and if you miss that window, then you take damage, and that's 50 damage. So someone like Sam, who has only 99, he needs to be a little careful. You can speed up how fast the mirror shows up by hitting yourself. I'm not sure he'll do that when he only has 99% health, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but you'll be seeing Scotty and John both shoot the mirror to take damage in order to speed up the cycle.
For the first round, you kind of sort of wait. For the next couple of rounds, you need to move around, because if you're standing still, it'll shoot lightning at you. You want to avoid that. So Scotty has refilled, so he can do the damage boost I was talking about, which on average makes the mirror show up slightly faster. Oh, nice lightning. So you move a bit to avoid that lightning, but sometimes one of them slips through anyway.
And it does shoot lightning eventually anyway, even if you do move around. Like this is a separate, another kind of lightning that moves across the floor.
That was a pretty good fight.
Charlie glitch?
Charlie glitch?
Oh.
So there's a glitch there where at the start of the cutscene, if you actually turn around you can get out of the pose Samus ends up in and just move around and shoot and stuff.
Oh, hey, Variasuit.
It doesn't actually help, it just looks kind of funny.
So here they gave Plasma Beam, Space Jump, and Gravity. Also Varia, but that's pretty redundant at this point.
Yeah.
It's a percent, we're doing 100%.
So the only upgrade they really need at this point is Power Bombs. And once they have Power Bombs, they have access to the entire game. And that's where we'll be cleaning up everything.
All right, John now fighting Charlie, having very good first 3 shots there.
What is Sam doing? I'm kind of curious.
He's fighting Charlie as
He's
well.
not hurting himself, so it looks like he's just playing it relatively safe.
Well, he might do it on the later
I might do
rounds.
the last
Might.
one.
He's getting long cycles, though, unfortunately.
So Scotty has to go through a long Shine Spark sequence, and if you fail it, you have to backtrack a lot. So it's pretty...
Oh, he does
He's
damage
doing it.
boost.
Last one. All right.
not over yet.
It's not over yet.
And also, in case anyone missed it,
Oh,
John,
nice.
He's
John
safe.
got the Charlie glitch as well.
Nice.
All right, watch
Sam.
John's screen. Wait, did he fire any shots? I wasn't paying
He
attention.
did, he did.
Okay, watch John's screen carefully.
Scotty got the Shine Spark.
Scotty got Shining Spark. This is too much going on.
No, all these things are happening at the same time.
There they go.
There you go.
Yeah.
The glitch graphics from the pistol show up after the cutscene.
He gets the glitch. Scotty's just gets the Shine Spark, and Sam pulls off no heal suitless. I mean, I can't keep
Pretty
up with
good.
all this. I need more eyes.
So the other runners still have the long Shine Spark to worry about, and there will be more of those. And they're all pretty scary to do.
Like it
'cause
looks like Scotty's really far ahead, but this can change very easily.
Oh,
There
yeah.
are still quite a few punishing tricks.
very, very punishing.
Cleanup is definitely one of the more challenging parts of Hundo.
It's like one of those segments where it's like not much is going on, but there's a lot going on, if that makes any sense. And this can be really scary if you're not careful.
So Pirate are pretty much a joke right now. They can just kind of kill them easily with Plasma Beam.
They're still not nice enough to drop power-ups or anything.
They drop nothing, and that's going to be important later.
Yeah.
So as Eagle mentioned, the last upgrade they need is Power Bombs, so all the runners are going to be making their way towards the main Power Bomb upgrade, which pretty much opens up the rest of the game. So I think we have some time to squeeze in a donation or two.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just as soon as I catch my breath from what Sam just pulled off.
That's fair.
We have $50 from Namaha227. Zero Mission was the first game I ever speedran. Love seeing it at GDQ. Love you all. Keep up the good work. Got time for another?
Yeah.
Sure.
We've got $15 from Jay Ricochet. Donating from Backup Couch. Hype for this Zero Mission race. Putting my donation towards the Super Monkey Ball race that's going to be amazing.
Chozodia is a really massive area. Like you kind of have to go through a long winding path to make your way to the main Power Bombs, and then kind of go back through most of that path.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate,
Yeah.
but that's how it is. See, the thing about a lot Power Bombs in Metroid games is that their purpose is to give you more Power Bombs, usually. So sort of the holy grail of undiscovered tricks for this game is getting early Power Bombs. We sort of got it, but I mean, we don't really.
We really don't.
No, so we need the main Power Bomb upgrade before we can get any of the other tanks into the game.
You can probably keep going with donations.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good time for donations.
Sounds great. We have $50 from Tourian. I so want that Metroid Queen plushie. Good luck to all runners for that Zero Mission race. Kill the animals. We have $15 from Phoenix Captain. Metroid is always my favorite block. I'm ready to see some saved frames and dead animals. And we have $25 from Pheromos. Zero Mission was the first Metroid game I played when I was a kid, and is what got me to love this series today. Good luck to all the runners.
There's the main Power Bomb tank on Scotty's screen. And you'll be using that immediately to get another Power Bomb tank.
Each Power Bomb tank gives you 2 Power Bombs, and he needs to use both of them immediately. One
Right.
to open his door, and one to get the Power Bomb tank behind it.
So managing Power Bomb ammo is incredibly important for cleanup, because you will be taking a refill at some point because you need a lot of Power Bombs. But other than that, the route is pretty much made in such a way that you have an exact number of Power Bombs for what you need. And there are some extra stuff you can do if you happen to get some drops later, but they are pretty minor time saves overall.
So like a really good runner for this category who knows what to do with those extra Power Bomb drops and has to constantly keep an eye on whether they get extra drops or not, pretty much.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Scotty, no.
Scotty accidentally placed his power bomb too high, and the shockwave didn't reach all of the blocks he tried to destroy.
That's unfortunate because he needs to go back that way at some point as well. And he can't use an extra power bomb there because then he would be
He doesn't have any
short.
extra.
Yeah, exactly.
These are very carefully planned out power bomb usages.
Yeah, because remember also, pirates don't have drops, so if you run out of power bombs in the wrong spot, you have to go find a save room.
And even enemies that do drop power bombs very, very rarely. You cannot count on power bomb drops anyway.
So at this point, they're heading out of this endgame area. There are only 2 exits, and both of them require power bombs, I believe. Yeah. So they'll be sort of circling the few areas they didn't clean up on the first pass, and then head back to this area for the final boss. Oh,
Scotty
nice.
actually just clipped through a power bomb door to conserve 1 power bomb.
You guys missed it, but Sam did a very, very hard to do door clip. So he glitches through that door without using a power bomb, and then he cleans up a different part of this endgame area early, and that means he has a different amount of power bombs available, and that way he can do some time savers with power bombs in different areas. So Sam is going to diverge slightly from the other 2 for a while. But we'll still be able to see who's in the lead once they sort of converge to the end here again.
I was not ready for this bold new routing.
So this is extremely important on Scotty's screen. They get 1 chance at this trick.
Only one.
They
One
break
chance.
they break the glass tube. They get a shine spark here. They place a power bomb. Keep the shine spark. Then they destroy some speed blocks
Nice.
to get
Got
an
it.
E-tank.
That's very important because the only other way to get the energy tank is to charge a shine spark in the underground area, which takes forever to do and ruins the routing.
That is very scary to perform.
It's not super difficult with some practice, but it's still very scary just because it's a 1-shot trick.
Yep.
Yeah, when we say 1 shot, we don't mean you have to go reset the room. We mean literally the tank does not, that tube does not come back. If you screw it up, you can't do it this run at all.
Yeah, the tube just barely gives you enough space to charge a shine spark, and if that tube is broken, well, you don't get that chance anymore.
I believe all the runners are going to be doing it, so John's going to be doing the glass tube spark here.
So in the previous room Scotty was in, he was looking for power bomb drops. He unfortunately did not get one, so he does not get the pretty generous time save you will
And
get
John
in the next
gets it
round.
as well.
too.
Nice. So Scotty did not get the extra power bomb. So what he has to do is he has to do a long shine spark sequence again. And if you lose that at any point, it's pretty unfortunate because you have to go pretty far back to restart it. So there's a recharge.
It's going to be a second recharge.
You can do an additional recharge here. He's not going for that.
Scotty's
Oh.
going fast.
He's going fast.
He
Nice. He
Gets
gets
it.
Gets it.
Not done yet.
Not done. It's not done yet.
He breaks these speed blocks. Then he shine sparks back, morphs, and does a ball spark
There we go.
to the
There
power
we
bomb
go.
tank. And that's it. That's the long sequence that you do not want to mess up.
And John's going to have to be doing the same thing because he also was not fortunate enough to get a power bomb drop in the 1 room. So
Meanwhile, Sam is cleaning up a different part that the other runners will get to at some point. So he has a lot of extra power bombs. So he can sort of skip the sequence they're doing here and just kind of destroy some power bomb blocks that allows you to just kind of run through this area instead.
He's skipping the
John
recharge
is
too.
also going fast.
Oh,
Nice.
he got it.
It's not over. All right.
okay.
That was so high.
Yeah, that was really high.
I was worried. And looks
Looks
good.
good.
That should be good.
So on Scotty's screen, he's doing what we call a space boost.
Nice.
He runs to get the speed boost. Then he jumps through the area without landing. He can't hit any walls or anything. There we go. So you can technically do a shine spark over there, but it's very tight to hit that very specific pixel you need. And it's just faster to do what he did, the space boost, because you don't get the startup animation of the shine spark and you don't do the bonk.
John was trying to high five.
Elevator high five. No, but like Eagle said earlier, though, because of the startup and bonk animations of Shine Sparks, if you can do a space boost, it's generally the faster option. But it's also, in many cases, more challenging because you don't just go in a straight line. You have to not go too high, not go too low, and make it all the way.
So on Scotty's screen, we're returning to a familiar location, the very beginning of the game. And we'll be going to Kraid and sort of do a round through Norfair and then back, basically.
This is what we'd like to call the cleanup segment of the game.
All right, John also getting his Tourian space boost.
And looks like Sam... Well, Sam is going to powerbomb, so he doesn't have to worry much about maintaining a long Shine Spark again.
Yep, he doesn't have to do the long sequence, so he can just kind of run through, making it a lot easier and quite a bit faster.
Yeah.
All right, here's Scotty setting up. This is the reason we need to come back now, because you need gravity suit to do lava shenanigans.
And like things like Shine Sparking and height and space jump and screw attack don't work in Liquid if you don't have gravity suits.
Right.
So a lot of the areas are sort of connected with secret shortcuts. Oh.
Oh. I think Scotty hit the one frame. There is randomly, I don't know why this is, but for some reason, every 19th frame you're in the zip line, you can't let go.
Yeah,
I have no idea why it works like that.
Oh, that's what happens.
Yes.
I didn't know that actually.
So sometimes, and that frame is perfectly aligned to where you want to let go, right there.
So you can tell
So
this
it just
guy did
happens
the
sometimes.
tool-assisted speedrun of this game.
I wasn't joking in that intro, folks.
Right, now Sam is going to be doing the Tourian space boost soon as well.
So a quick reminder, Sam is not as far behind as it looks. He did a slightly different route that I'm not even particularly familiar with, so I'm having trouble
I've
keeping
never
up
actually
too.
seen it, honestly. So.
Yeah, but it's a pretty cool thing because we discovered that door clip pretty recently, and it sort of works out that you can do a slight variation that doesn't really lose time and gives you the extra power bombs. It's pretty neat.
Which means, like earlier, we're going to have to wait for the paths to reconverge, no, for sure.
So the power bomb that Scotty got is like the Holy Grail power bomb, kind of.
Sort of.
If there's a way to get that without gravity suits,
Sort of.
I mean, we call it the early power bomb. The thing is, you can't actually get there alive because of the lava.
yeah.
All right, let's see if Scotty does the
There's another tight space boost he can go for, which is faster and also cooler.
Yes.
So
he's going for it.
He's going for it.
It's important he stays at the top of the room because if he hits the floor or anything, it drops. And this is a really long room where you don't want to touch the floor or any other blocks. He got
There you
it.
go.
Oh,
Nice.
no
Good job.
problem. He gets it.
Knowing him, he's going to do it again on the way out.
Sure.
So keep an eye out for that.
And it's just faster than Shine Spark.
It is faster.
Yeah. Because you don't got a bonk or startup animation or anything.
We can do another short space boost here. Because another advantage that space boosting gives you is that since you can actually adjust your height while moving at speed boost speed, you can kind of go underneath or above certain blocks as compared to a Shine Spark where you're just going in a straight line. So
What does John do? Let's see. Oh, he's going
He's
for
going for
it.
it too.
Oh, he's going for it.
the
Space-
two screens with space boosting.
The
Yep.
space boost high five.
Space boost high five. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it. And John gets
Yeah,
it.
John
too.
gets
got
it
it.
well.
This is why they're the best, folks.
Yeah, I believe the record for the run has been like traded off back and forth relatively recently.
Many
like,
times.
Many times between Scotty, Eagle, John, Sam.
Yeah, for a while it was pretty stagnant. I held the world record for this category for a long time. But then John challenged me and I had to sort of challenge him back. And then like an explosion happened where they submitted this to GDQ and they all practiced. And so many people got good times. And now I'm sitting here at 4th place, which is pretty unusual. I haven't been there in a while. Yeah, so it's been pretty wild for Zero Mission 100% recently.
It's a great category, though. Seeing all this activity and all these new discoveries are just fantastic.
It's fast-paced, and there's a lot of route variations, and there's a lot of room to be creative, to be yourself as far as moving through rooms go. It's pretty cool.
This is one of those cases of a ball spark being used purely for speed. Ball sparking you usually want to avoid, actually, because it has a longer startup animation than a normal Shine Spark. But in this case, it allows you to squeeze through one block speed boost blocks, which you can't do with the normal Shine Spark. So it's faster in that case in Scotty's side. He just did another space boost to get to the missile tank quickly.
Mind if I cut in really quick?
Sure.
Oh, yeah, good time.
We have a $700 donation from Fangamer.
Wow.
Ooh.
Great! You fulfilled your donation to Doctors Without Borders. It will revive aid around the world, but it may be invaded by the other Metroid. Pray for the speedrunners.
Will do.
All right, so it looks like Sam is taking it safe to just do a Shine Spark here. This is what it looks like. Technically speaking, I believe Shine Spark, in terms of raw speed, Shine Sparking is a tiny bit faster than space boosting, but because of the startup and the bonk, it's like never, there's never
It needs to
any
be a
practical.
very long distance before it's worth it.
Yeah, like,
That room gets pretty close to the Shine Spark being faster.
does it? Huh,
Yeah.
interesting.
But still, it would need even longer.
All right, well, that's Scotty's done cleaning up criteria. All that remains is Chozodia and the mothership.
Now there's a pretty unfortunate thing where we have to backtrack for one particular power bomb, and that's a long detour. And we really want to get that early, so if there are any glitch hunters that want to work on early power bombs, please.
I feel like most Metroid games have that one item that's like so far out of the way, and they have to make like a few minute detour for it.
Yeah.
Like Fusion has like the Sector 6 power bomb tank that you just make go all the way to the corner, get it, and go all the way back.
So this is a long detour to where we fought Charlie. The movement is a lot different because you're not suitless anymore. You have a lot of different movement options. There are screw attack blocks everywhere. You don't have the handgun anymore, so you have to use bombs instead.
Yeah, kind of sucks.
The movement is very different. So it has that going for it at least.
Yeah, interestingly, the handgun you have during Suitless actually counts as bombs for some reason, so you can break bomb blocks with it.
I mean, these are all rooms we've seen before. I think we can probably take a few more donations
Yeah.
here.
This is
for
the
sure.
time.
You want to find a way to skip this? What are you trying to put me out of a job? Golly, we have $25 from Silly Person. Have to donate during Metroid Zero Mission Race for John and Phil. Love seeing a runner from my home state of New Hampshire at SGDQ.
And once again, the power bomb count is very exact. Scotty must have gotten an extra power bomb somewhere along the way, so he has an extra one for saving a few frames in one room. But generally, you end up with 0 here, and then you get the other one.
You probably want to use it for the shortcut he missed. Your end of Chozodia.
That would be a good idea.
That would be a good one. So that's the power bomb tank. That now they have to go all the way back using mostly the same path they took. There's kind of a shortcut through the lava room, but it's still kind of annoying.
Yeah, this is the part where Scotty and John are going to have to go through the rooms that Sam already did during his slightly different cleanup.
So as far as difficult tricks go, there's one big one.
Wait, what is... John is refilling. Did he use an power bomb too many or something?
Not sure.
Must have. Well, he's good for power bombs now, at least.
we know the only upgrades he's missing are 1 E-Tank and 1 Super Missile, because your maximum final counter for 100% is 12 energy tanks, 250 missiles, 30 supers, and 18 power bombs.
So the runners should converge soon. Sam has a very unique route that will end up converging. What John and Scotty will be doing soon is sort of get to that area that Sam did early, soon, and then they should converge to that point. Oh, he didn't catch the missile. Yeah, if you're aligned slightly too far to the left, you won't break those speed blocks, and you just kind of smash your head against the ceiling there.
So what just happened on Sam's screen actually is that when a power bomb is going off for whatever reason, you can't actually power grip anything. It's kind of annoying, and it's the case in both Zero Mission and Fusion.
Because the screen's shaking too much. Samus gets scared.
You can't even pause. That's how good the power bombs are.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
You can't even pick up items. They're super powerful.
Yep.
Too powerful.
Like, if you pick up a major item while a power bomb is going off, the screen explaining what that item is doesn't show up until the power bomb is finished.
Never actually knew that. That's interesting.
If you ever hear Dragonfangs talk about anything having to do with this game, you listen to Dragonfangs.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
like,
useful for anything. It's just interesting.
he is actually, I believe, working on a TIS for this game again.
Yeah, I'm working on a new 100% TAS.
That's going to be exciting when it comes out.
Got time for a donation or two?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we have $100 from Talon Rain. So excited for this year's SGDQ, and I had to donate during the Metroid block. The more games like the Metroids, the better. Let's keep cutting the frames, cutting the times, and bringing more fun to the doctors to the doctors who are making a difference around the world. Great work to all the runners and everyone else who helped put these events.
Squeeze in another one.
We have $30 from Dachora and Edikun. Don't let us die.
No promises.
Eagle, please.
And perhaps one more.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can get one more.
We have $150 from Sean Ency. Had to donate to show my love for the series that defined a genre. I love the animals, but I love saving frames more. Kill the animals.
All right, so at this point, I think Scotty is missing one item.
The energy tank.
One item, and it's a pretty infamous item because there's a very, you know, he has a pretty good lead. He could not go for it, but I mean, it's Scotty. I'm sure he'll go for it.
He's gonna go for it.
He's gonna go for it.
He's gonna go for it.
It's a very nerve-wracking trick because you're jumping over a bunch of what are they called?
Tripwires.
Tripwires.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you touch any of them, you have to reset the room because if you touch any of them, the E-tank you need gets locked behind a shutter gate. So you want to kind of jump through that that maze of tripwires without touching them, and it's pretty precise.
Amusingly enough, most casual players get it using the space jump method, when the easier method is to shine spark.
Yes,
It's just much easier to shine spark.
you can do a shine spark, but it requires you going back once again, charging the shine spark, and then going back down. So it's slower by a few seconds.
I'm not sure Scotty even knows the easier strat. That's not how Scotty runs games.
So the thing with Scotty is that he shows up out of nowhere, gets really strong times, and then disappears again for a little while. It's what he's been doing.
All right, here we go.
Nice, thanks, Bacon.
No touching them.
Yeah,
That's the final item.
And Scotty is good to go. He's just fight the final boss and then
Yep.
finish the game.
So an interesting trait of the final boss is that if you have all the items, it gets triple health and does double damage. They have enough health that the double damage is not really a concern, but the triple health does mean they need to fire a lot of super missiles at it, hopefully not miss too many, and there's just gonna be a lot of precise missiles going off very fast.
Basically, as long as it takes more than 6 supers to kill Mecha Ridley here, then you're golden. You got 100%.
It's a good check to see if you got all the items. And he
He's
definitely
good.
got all the items.
Made of metal. Very quiet. No screaming.
Nice,
That
that was a
was a
really good fight.
Very clean.
All right, so Scotty now has to escape. There's one last trick coming up that he has to do,
We'll
which
see.
is called the escape spark.
We'll see if John does
But
space
now
jump
John,
tank as well.
pay attention to John's screen. He's going to be going for the energy tank. Space jumping.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah!
There we go, 2 for 2. And I'm pretty sure Sam's gonna go for it as well. Sam and Scotty waving hi to each other as they pass each other by.
Scotty has one final trick left. I think he should still be in the lead if he misses it, but it is pretty important to get.
Oh, Sam's going for the space jump, so let's look at his screen for a second.
Yeah!
3 for 3.
3 for 3.
All right, upcoming up right now is the final trick in the game, the escape spark. So what Scotty's gonna do is push his robot all the way to the left, give himself enough space to break the speed boost blocks on the right. He has to break the speed boost block while still maintaining a shine charge. He has to
So far, so
maintain,
good.
yep. He has to maintain his shine charge all the way to the top of this room and then do a ball spark, which clears out the rest of
Nice.
Chozodia.
And he
He's
gets
good.
this. Just the true final boss will stand between him and the end here.
The true final boss, yeah.
And time is coming up when Samus jumps into the ship.
And this is for a Scotty screen.
Yeah.
And looks like John just finished off Iron Set as well, so he's gonna be escaping.
And the Black Pirates are the true final bosses here. Gets him. Coming up.
And
And
Time.
time.
All right, so Sam is, we're not done yet. Sam is fighting Iron Ted right now. There we go, he just finished.
Gets
good
him.
fight.
Good fight.
Something we saw John do as well, because he had so many extra power bombs, is that he used a power bomb to open the door after killing Mecha Ridley, which actually saves time because you can be running against the door during the text that tells you that you have to escape.
Nice, setting up for escape spark here.
so we found this really cool setup that doubles the leniency for this trick, where you line up and then you run past the speed blocks and just stop just shy of the wall. We used to have to like stop almost on top of the speed blocks, and it was miserable because it's like such a short window.
It was sometimes frame perfect, depending on subpixels.
All right, John
So
getting
John's
escape
good.
spark. There he goes. Flying through the sky with the greatest of ease.
He's just got the Black Pirates left.
They're a bit of a random wild card here, but he gets them.
And time's coming up for John.
Time for John.
All right, now escape spark's coming up for Sam, so this is his attempt.
A little bit of trouble with the robot there. It's looking good so far.
And
He's
Spark
good.
to go.
Good.
Good to go. So Black Pirates left.
Yeah, you can clap.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
good.
Time is coming up.
Oh,
for
sometimes
Sam.
they're
Yeah,
a little difficult to hit.
Oh no, the red pirate. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Time!
What a race.
Yes.
This is everything I wanted and more.
Oh, we're getting a standing ovation.
Wow.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's hear
let's see it.
everybody. Your winners, CScottyW, and also John Unfill, Sam the Digital, and Dragonfangs. Go on, guys. Stand up. Stand up. You can knock it out later. Stand up, turn around.
That was a good race.
You guys are great.
I'm proud of you.
Oh, my goodness.
That was something.
I mean, I don't know what else. What else can we say? I mean,
Do we have time to see the in-game time?
it's coming up on Scotty's screen.
Yeah, Scotty's is coming up at
Yeah.
least, so at the very minimum we can see his.
Yeah, but this is Zero Mission 100%, a very fun category, and if you want to play this game, please, by all means, play it. It's a very fun game, and we all love answering questions and helping new folks learn it, so please.
We
Yeah,
have
we have a
tutorials.
Discord.
We have a very helpful Discord. Everyone's welcome.
It's filled with memes.
Sometimes.
Magoo.
Magoo, Eagle Face.
Eagle face.
we got time?
Ooh,
Sub 50.
sub
Sub
50.
50 in game.
Wow.
That'd be like Spidey's time, didn't it? I think so.
Yeah, it beats him by a long shot.
Wow.
By a minute. So for this game, the Zero Mission community does go by real time, even though there are some minor issues with the in-game time. We don't need to go into too many details for it, but the in-game time is still an okay measure of like just seeing how we did. Kind of curious.
Yeah, what is his in-game? What is his RTA?
His Scotty's RTA is 110.27.
A 110.
The
A
record's a
110
109, I believe.
The world record or just the race record?
The world record is a 109.
It
I
is,
believe.
it is.
So that's a minute off.
Yeah, but still, that's for a tournament race?
It's a really strong race.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for us, everybody.
Yeah, we have a Zero Mission Discord. I believe you can find it on speedrun.com.
You can.
for Zero
Yes, you
Mission.
can.
So people are really friendly there. You can talk to the top runners here. You can talk with us. There's plenty of people to help out.
We'll pass it on to the next Metroid game, right?
Yeah. Next up is Metroid Return. Not
Samus
Metroid
returns,
Returns.
yes.
Samus Returns. Well, Metroid does return.
Yes.
By Mr. Shasta.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Thank you
watching,
very
everybody.
much.
Let's give one more round of applause for our Metroid Zero Mission 100% racers. We'll be seeing them for a post-race interview shortly, but in the meantime, we have a few donations to read out. I have an anonymous $150 donation. Seems I've misplaced $150. Maybe those animals on Zebes know where it is. Someone needs to go check on it for me. I have $150 from Lady Black Rose. Second time watching a GDQ event and first time donating. I can't know how much work the staff and volunteers put into this event, but I'm very grateful for it. Thanks for everything you've done to help support Doctors Without Borders and the communities. Though, I gotta say, we should save the frames, so kill the animals. And I have $300 from Siege. Hey guys, this marks the 5th year in a row I've been watching GDQs, and it keeps getting better and better. Hyped for the Super Metroid 100% map completion run, so let's put this towards saving 100% of the animals. Good luck to the runners and keep up the awesome work. We have $30 from Solid Snack. This is the first GDQ I've watched live, and I gotta participate and save those animals. Great runs, and thanks for making the world a better place. We have $80 from Samus188. I have to donate during my favorite block. I'm sorry, runners, but from my whole household, save the animals. We have a $15 donation from TDK James. My wife donated earlier today to kill the animals, so I'm making a counter donation to save them. As a fellow speedrunner, I cherish frames, but hope you use this as an opportunity to find a fast way to save those animals. We have a $200 donation for Big Boss Self. Kill the animals. Keep up the great work, runners and organizers. This is a great event for a great cause. We have an anonymous $1,000 donation. Donation goes to the Paper Mario Glitch Exhibition incentive. As a quick reminder of some other incentives, if you should so desire, we have a bonus game, Super Monkey Ball 2, Monkeyed Ball. We need $36,000 for that, and currently we stand at $7,310.92. You might also be interested in the FMV intro of the very serious game Yo Noid 2. We need $4,000 for that, and we're currently at $1,830. As for some prizes we have available, we have plenty. At the $5 threshold, you are entered to win the Super Metroid Suit variant Perlers and the Metroid action figures. At $10, you can win the Metroid art print or the Metroid Zero Mission holographic print. At $15, you are entered for the Gravity Suit Samus Perler and the Metroid Samus Returns prize pack. Then at $25, you could win the Metroid logo chainmail inlay. And at $30, you can win that Metroid Queen plushie. Of course, at $150 total throughout the entire week, you are entered to win an 8th generation console bundle, including a Nintendo Switch, a Sony PlayStation 4 Pro, an Microsoft Xbox One X, and a gaming PC. We have $50 from Cav. Save the animals. My dogs insist it. We have $15 from Kuroji. First time donating, but long time watcher. I know it is hard, but save those frames, kill the animals. We have $25 from Parentis. Those animals got nothing on them frames. Kill the animals. Save those beautiful frames. A quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital are purveyors of fine digital entertainment from independent artists worldwide. Visit devolverdonquick.com for the limited time Devolver Done Quick bundle on Steam that includes Enter the Gungeon, Titan Souls, High Hell, Shadow Warrior Classic Redux, and Minute. We have $25 from Universal Giant. Hey guys, this is Universal Giant. Longtime viewer, first-time donor, and no better time to donate than the Metroid block. It's always heartwarming to see so many people from all over the globe come together for a good cause. Thank you for everything that you do, including the organizers and tech crew behind the scenes. Put this towards the monkey ball race, and good luck on the run, Shasta. We have $200 from Empathic Mind. Great games and a great cause. Keep doing what you do, runners. Also, save those animals. We have $30 from Blueberry Phazon. This is my favorite, non-Halloween, time of the year, and I had to donate during Samus Returns. Metroid 2 was my first in the series, and I don't think I've put more hours in any other game. I knew SR 3088 like the back of my hand. My save kill coin says, kill 'em all.